Okay, forget the money part. But then again, why do people want to read what you write about? Is it because you can relate to all of us?
Look, I think I'm really lucky. People come to me and say like, oh, you're a known blogger and things like that. But the thing is, people don't realize that I only got recognized for my blog maybe in the last 1.5 years.
Okay.
But I've been blogging since 2001.
That's a long time.
It's a very long time. It doesn't just happen like that. And I'm very lucky because I have my column in the Star. Because I write for the Star, I also get I guess my name is recognizable because of that. So that actually helps. And it's all these little things that you're doing. You know the whole thing about tipping point, right? You're doing so many different things and then suddenly good things happen for you.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful for this to happen, but at the end of the day, it is a lot of hard work.
It is a lot of hard work. That's the key word over here, folks. So, it doesn't happen overnight, Niki says, and a lot of hard work.
Well,
simply put.
Well, pros and cons of being a blogger, the good side of being a blogger and the bad side, the things that you like most and things that you hate the most.
The thing I hate most, can I start with that, is the reputation that bloggers get. I think a lot of bloggers, number one, people think that, oh, this is just a bunch of people who have no life and just sit in front of a computer and complain and whine about things.
Yeah.
Yes, there are people like that, but in real life, that people complain all the time. You just don't have to read it. So that's the one thing I don't like about blogging. The second thing is it's very time consuming. So if I'm committed to doing something, I actually have to sit down and find the time to do it. And the thing about blogs is that you have to sustain because your readers can't come back and not see new content. Mm-hmm. So you need to update it frequently enough. So that's very time consuming. The good thing is I sometimes now, especially these days where everybody is trying to get onto the whole digital bandwagon, a lot of bloggers get invited for events and stuff, which is really fun. I'm very lucky because being in the media, I've always had access to these kind of things already. But I can imagine for somebody who isn't as experienced in the media as someone like me would really appreciate this kind of benefits. And the other thing is that, at the end of the day, you get an outlet to vent. It's your own newspaper. You can say whatever you want. We didn't appropriate guidelines.
Yeah.
And most of all, it's fun. It's a hobby.
So what would you like to see happen? I mean, when you sit down in your blog and you always, perhaps there's something inside there that says, oh, I wish this could happen. Oh, I wish this, but it's not happening. What do you wish could happen?
For the blogging community?
For the blogging community.
I wish that... I'm really going to go there. I wish that there wasn't so much politics in the blogging community. It's like any other media fraternity. I wish that we could all just get along. And I wish that we all just realize that you don't have... Just because somebody blogs something that you don't like doesn't mean that you need to lash out about it, because don't read that person's blog.
Yeah. Skip the page.
Skip the page.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the best thing about this whole social media revolution, right? You can unfriend and unfollow anybody you want to on your networks. Mm-hmm. So there's no reason why you can just not read somebody's blog. So let them be.
So you don't write about stuff that makes you angry, do you?
I do.
It depends, I guess.
Yeah.
But you're not how do you say, a serial complainer, are you?
Look, I don't think that I'm the kind of person who I whine and complain about stuff, but I don't think that... I think at the end of the day, despite whatever people know about me, I'm quite reserved. So I won't go out there and complain about every single thing about my life. Sometimes I go on my Twitter and I will say things like, WNW1234, please turn on your signal. But
hey, that's my car.
But that's just little things. I very rarely go up there and complain about my life. Usually, if I do let any anger go into my blog, it's about issues. Sometimes politicians saying stupid things, or people making really bad decisions, or
it's more of general and affects a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I like to do my social issues with festival and all the kind of things that I do. So I'm very passionate about that kind of stuff. So if I think that something can be better, I always feel that discourse is part of the whole democratic process, and I will exercise my democratic rights.
That's right. So,
and of course, talking about the blogging world, I'm pretty sure you have communities of bloggers. You have Group A, Group B, Group C. But is there a competition or maybe some rivals going on?
I know we're in Group Z.
I'm in Group U, unrated. Yeah, totally. I mean, it's like anything in life. There are people who want to try and outdo each other. There are people who, like to gang up and click up against each other. I don't like it, but sometimes we have to deal with it.
So this is the blogger politics, like
I don't think many people talk about it, but it's there. So
okay, so you're not going to mention the names or whatever. Okay.
If you're a blogger, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. The community isn't very big.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, but at the end of the day, I think it's fair to say that people have got more sense. People know for themselves, right? Or are there a whole bunch of people out there who are complete nincompoops?
Well,
you're talking
Ooh,
about?
you said that. Ooh.
I like to think that I have faith in enough of people, humanity, to that they know what's right for them.
Right.
Sometimes people get caught up in the moment, which is totally fine. But at the end of the day, you just realize that it's so ridiculous. Once you take a step back and you look at the whole thing, you just realize that, why can't we all just coexist? I mean, it's just like how countries go to war, right?
Yeah.
It's like, for what?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to look that far. You post a video on YouTube and you see what happens.
Yeah,
you
you never realize that something that you put about a finger, perhaps, would be looked at by in 5,000 different ways.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the whole thing about the whole social media thing. I think that's the one negative thing about it, is that people just think that they can get away with it because they're not saying it face to face. Look, it's no different. As long as your name is there, we can find you on Facebook, we can find you on Twitter, we can find you anywhere. We can find you.
We can find you in your IP address. We know where you are.
Yeah, it's so naive to assume that anything is
Yeah.
anonymous on the internet now, even though you don't use your real name.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. That was
you
pretty funky.
get that.
Well, of course. And due to time constraint, before we wrap things up, for future bloggers, any tips on how you actually could start your blogging world, and things that you should avoid, and things that they should focus on?
Yeah, I think focus on your blog. Focus on what you're interested in, right? The problem with blogs is, if you want to, I think there is no formula to it, but I think that if you want to be recognized, the idea is that you need to have comeback readers who keep coming back, right? So it has to be something of interest. So it has to be, don't blog about every single thing in your life, because if the moment you do that, unless you're just doing it as a diary, people don't know what to get. Because if somebody likes music, for example, I have to come back and I want to see more things about music. I don't want to come from music one day and then 3 months later another thing on music, right? So I think you need to focus on that. But I'm one of those advocates who say that do anything you want with your blog, because it's your blog. If you want to make money out of it, then you need to put in the marketing strategies and everything, and then it gets a bit too serious already.
And how do you get recognized? I mean, on a better way. I mean, you've went through the process. Is there any easier way for you to be recognized? The whole world can see your blog, to spread the word out easily.
I'll tell you one way, but you don't want to do it.
Well, porn sites are not included. We're not talking about porn sites here.
Yeah, recognition. People have to recognize you. You can't force people to recognize you. So you can throw yourself out there as much as possible. If people don't find you interesting, whether for good or bad things, there's no way you're going to get recognition. So, like I said, just if you enjoy it enough, you probably won't need this recognition, because you're just doing what you enjoy. It's when you're working for something and you're just doing it just to hit that thing. You might get there, but you might not. There's no guarantees.
Is there a big no-no for this? The things that you should definitely not do?
I don't think that there is, because like I said, you blog for yourself. But if I have a piece of advice, it would just be, do what you enjoy and don't let everything else around you. Don't get caught up in all the things around you, like the politics and stuff.
Just talk about things that make you happy, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, you can talk.
And
You can
know
talk
it,
about.
just blog it.
No, you can talk about like politics, like politicians, but
Yeah.
don't get caught up in the whole blogging thing, kind of going like, oh, I can't go for the event because it's organized by somebody else and stuff. Look, just have fun. You only live once.
Yeah. What'd you blog about yesterday?
I'm going to blog something today.
Okay, what you going to blog about today?
I'm going to talk. I'm just doing a wrap up about the festival. Couple
Right.
of the interviews that I've been doing, and just to tell people, thank everybody for all their support.
That's
So.
nice. That's nice. And you're going to have a lot more charities done later on?
Yeah,
you're
I'm
thinking
actually. Can I plug a couple of things?
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
okay, go ahead.
Well,
go
I'm
ahead.
running the Standard Chartered KL Marathon in June.
In June.
And I'm running for a cause. I'm running for the National Cancer Society of Malaysia.
Excellent.
So if you go up there, you do a search for Niki Cheong on the website. You can come and donate to me for my run, and basically the money goes to the Cancer Society.
That's very, very nice.
Yeah, and little things like that.
Yeah. Why are you so nice? I mean, why are you doing it? Why?
Why? These are causes that are close to my heart. And if I have the resources to do it, I think that I should be able to raise a bit of money. Thanks to a lot of support from people. So if I can do it, then I might as well help while I can.
What do you think is going to happen if we have 22 million Nikis in the country?
Well, then 22 million charities will benefit.
Fantastic.
Wow, that's excellent. So I can daringly say we have Niki Cheong, the nice Bangsa boy, in the studios, man.
Thank you very much.
but he has that problem with crows.
Oh,
He
you
has
still have
that
it?
problem. You have problems with crows coming by and leaving a thing or two, right?
Yeah, yeah, we do.
That's a never-ending story in Bangsar.
It's never gonna end. And since I was a kid, I was traumatized with like the people coming and shooting it. It's kind of like, oh my god, what are you doing?
Snipers.
Oh, you would rather save them. You wouldn't want them gone.
I don't know. I'm impartial about this. All I know is I know where not to park.
Okay. Whoa. That's a secret we got to find out. You're going to blog about that someday?
Yeah, maybe. I'll think about it.
Okay. What about your web address and stuff like that? You want to tell?
It's NikiCheong.com, NikiCheong.com. I'm Niki Cheong on Twitter. It sounds like a total douchebag, but just do a Google. All my online profiles are all there, so it's very easy to get in touch with me.
There you go. Thank you very much, Niki, for joining us. It was great having you in the studio.